Hi, this is Erin and Simon with Assets and Arbitrage, and we have a great show for you today. We have a guest who's going to be joining us that Simon is going to introduce.
Yeah, so this is my good brother Randy McCloud. We used to be colleagues, worked as firefighters together. So shout out to all my firefighters out there putting in that good work. Randy is a firefighter at the Cincinnati Fire Department,
Mhm.
but he's also an investor and looking to build his generational wealth, and is also going to be retiring pretty soon. So we just wanted to talk to him about some of the things he has going on. So, we like to bring you different places to live or visit or check out. So Randy is an expert on Belize. So today we're going to be talking about Belize. So how would you like to start? Is there any specific question you have?
No, but I do want to tell them Belize
Okay.
is Mexico's neighbor. So
Yes,
it's
it
a
is.
small country. It
It's
is an English speaking country.
It is a beautiful country.
So it is a great, we talked about Belize before.
Mhm.
It is a great choice and a desirable place, but we do want you to hear firsthand from someone who's traveled there multiple times
Mhm.
and is looking to have a second home there. So Randy, tell us a little bit about your trips to Belize. Like what attracted you to Belize? What was it about Belize that you decided this is it?
Well, first off, good afternoon, everyone, and thanks for having me on the show. Um, I first went to Belize in, let me see, 2007,
Mhm.
2007, 2008. And it was right after my life-changing experience of a divorce. And what took me there was just a hunch. I looked at a map and I closed my eyes and I put my finger down on the map and it said Belize. I kid you not, that's how it happened. And
Mhm.
one of my coworkers said, "Oh, I go there all the time." And he was a diver. He does snorkeling, he does deep sea diving and stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he said, "Man, it's a beautiful spot." So I went there and I stayed at a nice resort and I just fell in love with the place. I was like, man, it was inexpensive. It was
Mhm.
close to travel to. It only took me roughly um, 2 hours to get to my first layover. Went through customs, and then the next flight was another 2 hours. So 4 hours flight time. Um, Once I landed, um, I got there, and the people there just treated me with open arms. They were so polite, and I am a cigar smoker. I found me a cigar place, and trust me, when I got to the cigar place, the guy, he was so cool. He said, "Hey, come back later on. We could chop it up." So, long story short, I went there later on that evening, and me and him stayed up until 3 o'clock in the morning smoking cigars. And he told me about how he migrated there. He first lived in New York with his family, went to Costa Rica, and
Mhm.
then from Costa Rica, he made it to Belize. So
Mhm.
from there, it was just like, okay, this is where I'm thinking about. And trust me, at that time, I wasn't even thinking about retiring. So it was just always in the back of my mind, like, oh, okay, Belize might be one of those little spots. And so as I progressed onto the fire department, and now that I'm closer to retirement, this is in the forefront of, okay, this might be where I want to go.
Mm. So is this something you want to do? So you would have like a second home in Belize, or is it that you're looking to relocate permanently in Belize?
So this will be like a second home in Belize. So I've talked to my kids about it. Cincinnati is always going to be forefront. This is home spot.
Yeah.
But once I pay everything off here, starting to go international and having my kids able to say, "Hey, look, we're going on vacation." I'm like, "Well, you know where the keys are. Hey, they could go down to Belize anytime they want to."
Uh,
And when you travel, the number one issue is finding a place to stay at when you go to international spots.
mhm.
So, going to a second place to have a second home, internationally is key to any type of investment when you're talking about living abroad or having a second home. Once you start paying off your assets in the United States.
Okay, so we always talk about the arbitrage of living abroad. How is the cost of living down there? Do you
So
a big
first
difference?
off, I like the that YouTube video that you all sent me, and one of our colleagues, Percy,
Mhm.
sent me was money versus currency.
Yeah.
So for every one of our dollars is two of their dollars.
Okay.
Okay.
So the cost of living was inexpensive to begin with. I mean, it's one of those places where you're gonna get a bang for your buck.
There you go.
Every time I go down there, I meet new people. So once I got down there, got rid of the glitz and glamour, because you go to a new spot, you want to party, you want to live it up. You're like, oh man. So once you get done doing that, you start meeting the local people, and then you start meeting the American people that have lived down there, started up a business, or moved down there and have done it. So
Yeah.
that have already established their footprint into Belize.
Mhm.
So that's where I'm at right now. I'm talking to these people to see how they done it, to see how their paperwork went, what they had to do in
Right.
order to get down there, to start up their footprint, to get down there, to establish themselves. How hard was it? What loops they had to go through, and all that. And so that's the point that I'm at now, is doing my research to make it better, so that when I start getting my paperwork done, I won't have to go through the same loops they went through.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yes, indeed. So
So that's a key point to anybody who's looking to move international or to start investing international, is to do your research, because everybody's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna move here, I'm gonna move there, but if you don't do your research, then you're gonna be shelling out a lot of money.
Mhm.
You're gonna be lost. You can get your money taken,
Uh,
because if you don't do your research, first off, you got to have your banking taken care of. I'm gonna say here,
yeah.
because you could do the banking there, but they're just as scandalous as anything.
Right.
So I'm gonna say, have your finances taken care of here
Mhm.
before you go purchase anything, or not unless you're gonna pay for cash.
Mhm.
Um, Anything international.
Okay, so what are the areas of Belize that you prefer?
Mhm.
Some of the cities or
So
parts of the
I've,
country.
I've this last trip was kind of very interesting to me, because I had some flight issues.
Mhm.
I flew a particular airline. They had mechanical issues. And what I liked about it is I was flying on a hunch. Like, I didn't set up no hotel reservations, no resort reservations. I just went, and I was going to do everything just out on a limb.
Okay.
So I got stuck in Belize City, which is my first time actually staying in Belize City.
Mhm.
So when I did that, I was able to navigate on my own how to get around Belize City, which was
Okay.
pretty cool, because that enabled me to build up the confidence I needed to start asking questions, start
Mhm.
talking to people more so than I would have if I would have just went on ahead, made reservations ahead of time,
Right.
um, than like I usually do.
Mm.
So I was able to talk to the people in the airport. How do I, get around to here? And they were so helpful to me that I made some good connections. So they told me about certain areas to stay away from, certain areas like if I needed to go to like the market, or if I wanted. So that let me know that, okay, this is how I could get around in Belize City. So if I took my wife this time around, I wouldn't be looking like Boo Boo the Fool, like, oh, babe. She's like, well, you've been down here several times. You don't know how to get around. So now I'm like, oh, yeah, babe. Now I got the confidence to show her that, hey, look, this is how you do it this way. So now that's showing her that I'm actually doing my homework on how to get around to these spots. So um, Belize City was cool, but they also informed me, hey, look, it's a lot more things going on in Belize City.
Yes, indeed.
So from there, I was able to go to the island of Cape Cocker. So Cape Cocker is a smaller island compared to some of the other islands, but it's a lot slower pace.
Okay.
The crime rate there is a lot less than any other part of Belize than anything. They had in the last 10 years one highly rated crime, which was like, wow, like it was, and that was by a tourist. So then from there I went to San Padre, however you want to pronounce it.
Mhm.
But that's a bigger, faster paced island.
Mhm.
And that's the more touristy island, but you have the northern part of it and the southern part. And that's the part that I'm pretty much interested in, is San Pedro Island. It's a bigger island. You get a lot more bang for your buck when you start searching that particular island. They have some nice beaches, some nice scenery, easy access. The barrier reef is, excellent. If you like to snorkel and stuff, they have some good snorkeling areas. If you like to fish, they have some good fishing areas. Some nice restaurants to go to. You can always catch a ferry to the Mayan ruins if you want to. So it's a lot to offer on that particular island.
Mm. Yeah, that sounds good, San Pedro. I looked into once you told me about it,
Hmm.
because we've been to Belize once, but it was Belize City, so you know.
And then once you do the research, and if you go on YouTube, and if you start like, even if you go on Expedia and start looking at some of the Airbnbs that they offer on San Pedro, I mean,
Mhm.
you can look at some of the construction that they got on there, and them houses are immaculate. I mean,
Oh yeah,
it's like, man, it's crazy, some of these things that they putting up there. I mean, beachfront houses too.
yeah. You sent me some of those links on Messenger, so yeah, I was checking them out. I'm like, oh man,
Right.
these places is pretty clean, because I said we're gonna get on back
Mhm.
down there. But yeah, man, that sounds amazing. Did you have some?
I did. I
Okay.
actually had a few questions for him.
Hmm.
So you're looking at more of the islands than you are the mainland because it's a little bit slower, the crime is less. And the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because we want to show our audience how they can put together and do the research with the things that they like and that they don't like. One of my questions would be, is it just a quick ferry to the island from the mainland?
From the mainland, it's about an hour and a half ferry ride,
Mhm.
but they have these boats go, 80, 90 miles per hour. They're catamarans. I mean, they pretty
Okay,
fast.
it's not a ferry.
And when you get on them, you like amazed because they seat in like 100 people.
Okay.
And everybody is talkative. There's people from all over, a lot of people from Canada on these boats.
Mhm.
Um, a lot of the locals are there. So you'll be amazed at the vast majority of, and the widespread type of people that's on these ferries, and get to talking to them, the locals, the people that have migrated from the Americas there, um, and just start networking with them, and they start talking to you, and you'll be amazed at what you'll learn from them. Once you get to the islands, you won't find a rental car place. So you'll have to rent a golf cart to get around,
Oh.
which is and do your research on that, because when I first got there, I just went to the first place, like, oh, there go a golf cart rental place right there.
Hmm.
So you'll find out that there's a bunch of Asians, a bunch of Arabs that own these rental car places.
Hmm.
But if you
Oh,
go online,
Uh-huh.
you'll find an Avis rental car place. I mean, a golf cart place that will rent you a golf cart for 5 days for 100 bucks, $170.
Okay.
So just do your research on that too. So
okay, that's good.
I had a few just like follow
Oh,
up about the island.
oh no, go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, I
I
was
was got
gonna
go ahead.
say, because it's an island, do you feel like the prices at the market now, granted, you're gonna get gringo, it's not Mexico, but because you are an expat, the price
Yeah.
is gonna be driven up for you anyway. But do you feel like when you're dealing with the islands off the mainland that stuff's a little bit more expensive, or does it seem to be market price across the board?
Um, I feel it's pretty fair. Only thing I did notice is the alcohol. The alcohol was a little pricey. It was a little pricey, like for your bottles in the market compared to like the duty free stores
Okay.
in
It
the
was more
airports and
expensive
stuff.
than duty free?
Duty free was super cheap. Then you go to the market and it was so outrageous. It's like, hold on, I'll just go back to the duty free store in the airport.
Okay.
So
I've
just
never seen that.
yeah, we was getting like bottles for like the Lolo and the duty free, but then we'll go to the market and they was hiking up the prices on something
Okay.
fearless.
But that's like stuff like that is good
Yeah.
to know if you're
Yeah.
traveling to Belize. And then lastly, when you're getting around the island, is it relatively easy to navigate? Does it seem rural?
Mhm.
Just meaning like, are they dirt roads, they're concrete roads, lots of potholes? I know you're driving a golf cart, so that makes
There are lots of potholes. It is pretty easy to navigate
okay.
because it's usually one way. It's all one ways for the most part. Um,
Okay.
but there's a lot of potholes, so be prepared. I'm gonna say, um, just be prepared for the potholes.
Okay.
But it would also mean too, like if you're getting the golf cart, you definitely want to take out the insurance so that
Yeah.
they're not holding you liable for
Mhm.
damage due to the streets and the road. So these are some of
Yeah.
the things like we do when we travel. We
We
want to
try. We
know
try to.
those little
Yeah,
nuances.
we try to figure it out.
Hmm.
So now definitely a very important question. We talk to a lot of. I don't know if you're familiar with digital nomads and people who work remotely. But how are the services as far as like internet, electricity, things like that? If somebody was looking to relocate and work remotely from Belize.
Okay, so that's a good question that you had. A couple of the restaurants we went to, there were a lot of people that were down there working remotely
Oh, okay.
from their job. And
Yeah.
so the only issue they had, they had no problem with the internet service.
Okay.
They were concerned about the security and people hacking into it.
Ah, okay.
That
Yeah.
was their only issue. So most of them were like, "Did you turn on your VPN? Did you do this? Did you do that?" One guy was like, "Oh, I don't care." He was just he was just working off the internet service.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So that was the only the internet service was perfect. Matter of fact, I took my Fire Stick down there and I was streaming TV from America there.
Okay. And the
So my
electricity
Fire
was
Stick,
okay.
yeah, no interference. I was streaming,
Hmm.
local channels here in Cincinnati, looking at local news, seeing what was going on.
You
All
need a
right.
fire stick so you
Yeah, I
can
gotta get
watch the
it.
Bengal
Yeah, I
games.
need a fire stick.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
We
yeah,
watch
yeah.
them
I
stand
told you I had one waiting on y'all. I'm just waiting to see y'all in person, so I could give it to y'all in person. Like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Here you go. Here you go.
Oh, okay. So Belize sounds nice. So when you're looking at like a place, do you look at other countries
Well, like
or
I said, I've been to Costa Rica. I've been to Puerto Rico.
Mhm.
I've been to Cuba. I've been to a lot of international Caribbean places already.
Okay.
And
Okay.
the thing I like about Belize, it hasn't been touched by these big corporations yet.
Right.
And when I say big corporations, meaning they haven't jacked up the land prices.
Hmm.
Okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's not so outrageous. It's out of my reach already.
Okay.
They got beachfront properties that you could get for $40,000.
Dang.
Wow. That's cash.
Yeah.
And once you start working with a good realtor that can help you do the research, he'll help you find that gem that you're looking for that suits your style. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dang, man, that's what's up. I mean, we really like Belize. When we went, we had a really good time. I'm gonna get back down there. Like I said, we're supposed to link up with you on the in October.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
October, so we're gonna link up with you down there. But
Oh, we're gonna
Make
shoot a
sure you
show
bring
down
some bug spray. That's
there.
any country, but bring some bug spray because the mosquitoes did hit me. I was like, hold on, bro.
Yeah, no, the mosquitoes here are just they make noises. They make like a little trumpet noise
Uh,
in your ear. That's how obnoxious they are.
Yeah.
how is it so as far as you looking for the connections and the availability to, like you say, network with people and stuff like that? Did that play a big part in your choice in Belize?
Um, yeah, it did. Matter of fact, this last trip, when the airplane had the mechanical issues,
Hmm.
I mean, I linked up with this guy. I mean, he was sitting right next to me, and that's what got us to talking. He was working on his second restaurant,
Okay.
Nice.
and he was staying down there for a month. He was like, "Yeah, man." He lived in Kansas City, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm here helping out." Him and his brother-in-law opened up a second restaurant, and he was like, "I'm down here. We're opening up a second restaurant," and he was like, "Just come." And so I told him on this next trip we was gonna link up, but you exchange social media accounts, and then you just start messenger each other, and from there it goes out to the races, because as long as you just keep in contact, and then you share pictures and stuff,
Yeah.
and you just keep in contact mainly. And from the first time I went, I'm still friends with the ones that I met back in 2007, 2008.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Oh wow.
And even though that couple ain't still together no more, they done remarried or whatever, we still friends to begin with. And they're like, "Oh, I see you're back down in Belize. There you go again, Randy." So it's just all love every time I go down there.
Okay. So what, and so, this show is big on Bitcoin, and I know you're a Bitcoin
Yes,
investor.
sir.
Uh, is there any arbitrage you see by being in Belize and being a Bitcoin investor? Is there, I haven't done
Um,
the research, but is there
Like, is
any,
there an environment for
yeah,
it?
right now there is not a big environment on it. I was talking to some locals about it, and it's really like a hush hush situation. Um,
mm,
even and I didn't want to go too pry too much into it.
okay,
And that was just with my local friends that I have down there, and they were like, "We want to invest in it, but they haven't really been accepted of it."
okay,
So that's where we are with that.
okay,
But you got to understand too, it's not a government-led initiative, because that's really what's been getting the adoption, that there are government-led initiatives in El Salvador
Right. And
and
I think
Guatemala.
with the new election coming up, what's the rapper, what is it, Shine, whoever the
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Shine.
that's what everybody is hoping, that he becomes, the new leader down there. So
Oh,
that's
okay.
something else to think about when you think about, Belize and with the future of it.
Yeah, because we say, that area is getting a lot of Bitcoin adoption as far as Guatemala, Costa Rica, Honduras, El Salvador. So it just kind of playing out that all these places in that region, the would you be Central? Would it Central America?
Yeah,
Central
being
Central
America.
America. Yeah.
Yeah, Central America. So you could see it playing out, and then when you get somebody like you said, like a Shine, who could be the new leader and have a forward, looking process
Right.
as far as things like that. So man,
Right.
that's
It's known. They know about it. They know about it. It's just not accepted, and it's not spoken of publicly yet.
not public. Okay, is there do they have a as they like to call it an on ramp? Like, do they have things that apps they can buy Bitcoin, or is it accessible there?
No, it's not. Because I was asking, do they have Cash App? They don't have Cash App. They don't
Yeah.
have certain things like that. And I was like, And I think it's something to do with their cell phones, because one of them tried to download Cash App on his cell phone. He couldn't
Yep.
even do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, you can't access those apps outside the US.
I think.
So yeah, like Venmo, Zelle,
Uh,
Cash App, those are
yeah.
US
I believe
based.
you have to be a U.S. citizen
Yeah.
to
Right.
you have to what do you call it? KYC, AML, and stuff like that as a U.S.
And
citizen.
your IP address is like their
Mm,
Belizean cell phone is
Mhm.
already sending a code that this is not a US base.
Right.
So even if you got a Belizean cell phone, you wouldn't be able to, like, if I were you, I would just have, for a long time we had two phones.
Right. That's what I
For a
was telling
long
them.
time.
Yep.
Right. So
What
yeah.
so let me ask you about like, some of the stuff we talk about when you travel abroad, if you're going to be abroad for a while or live there. Um the things, the little things that you need. How is that for you? Sometimes you go these places you can't get, like, just like she said, you can't get a razor, right? You need to go shave. You can't
Yeah.
use
So
the right.
okay. So when I got stuck in Belize City, I needed deodorant, I needed bug spray, I needed there was a lot of little things that I didn't pack in my bag because I was just in such a rush. I just needed to get out
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
United States.
Mhm,
I was ready. So
mhm.
I walked out of the hotel room and there was a local sitting there selling, some beads, some jewelry. And he's like, "Hey, my man, you want to buy some jewelry?" And I'm like, "No, I don't want to buy no jewelry." I said, "But if you could tell me where I could get these little small things from, you know, I'd be willing to help you out."
Mhm.
So he walked me around to some local little stores and showed me the little hot spots. Now,
Mhm.
mind you, this cat, he didn't have on no shoes, so it's hot outside his feet. I'm like, "Man, your feet ain't hot?" He's like, "Oh yeah, man, it's hot, it's hot." But he walked me around, showed me where the hot spots was,
Yeah.
showed me which alleys not to go down. That's how cool he was. So at the end of it, I bought him a pop, I bought him some other little stuff, and I gave him, little $5 or whatever. I'm like, "Here, man, hey, I appreciate it." The
Mhm.
dude walked me around some more. He's like, "Oh man, Mr. Randy, you real cool." So,
Mhm.
he hung around me. He introduced me to some more people, just
Yeah.
like, "Hey, this is Mr. Randy." So and they wasn't trying to sell me nothing, but they was just cool like that. They was like, "Hey, what's up, Randy?" And I'm like, "Hey, what's up, fellas?" You know? And so just him doing that showed me like, okay, I'm walking around with a pocket full of money. They could have robbed me, but they didn't. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry.
So it was just like, okay, I felt comfortable enough, I didn't look like a tourist. I didn't have gold chain on. I didn't have a camera sitting here walking around, snapping pictures everywhere. Didn't have my backpack on,
Yeah.
just looking like a tourist. So
Yeah.
when you go to these places, don't act like you know where you're going. Just
Right.
don't look like a tourist.
Right. And
And
then
another thing that happened to me was, and I kind of kicked myself in the butt, but I
Mhm.
had like my passport and my driver's license together with my luggage.
Don't do
And I
that.
usually don't do that.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, when I got the golf cart, my luggage fell off the golf cart
Oh
and I rolled around the corner. Didn't even notice that it fell off.
man.
You know how stuck I'd have been?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, I'd have I'd have been stuck in Belize for a couple months. Like, "Hey, bro." But
Yeah.
luckily, a local couple found it and gave it back to me.
Mhm.
Nice.
Now I can't say that's for everybody or that's gonna happen for everybody,
Right.
but that's how fortunate I was that, they were that nice to, just hand it back to me like, "Oh, so I gave them $20, 20 American dollars." Like,
Mhm.
because that was a lifeline for me down there. You know what I'm saying? So $20, 20 American dollars was actually 40 Belizean to them.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that went a long way.
Yeah,
So
that's a
I'm
big.
just saying, think about, you know, rewarding people for some of your errors that you make and be careful, not to have all your eggs in one basket, when you do travel international or, no matter where you're traveling.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
also, when you're carrying cash or your IDs or your passports and stuff, just be conscious about, how you're traveling and what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah, because we've been traveling around for a long time, and from when I understood and the stuff I used to read, I would make a color copy of my passport,
Right.
carry it with me in case somebody said, "Hey, I need to see your paperwork." So I would always carry that. I would just leave the passport at home. That's what the embassy would tell you. is to not carry your passport around, because like you said, if you lose your passport or something like that, you get stuck somewhere. You get stuck somewhere. So and you don't have your documents and all that, because now to get a new passport, you don't have the documents because you probably don't have those with you. So yeah, it could become problematic in that regard.
Where's your paperwork, sir?
Paperwork. Where's your freedom paper? Well, I ain't gonna go there. I ain't gonna talk about the freedom paper. That's another show. But I know you have some more questions because you.
Oh no, I was just gonna ask. So now that did you already find your second home? You already picked it out?
I found the location. I'm working on, getting all my finances and making sure the wifey likes the spot.
Oh, okay. So you still got a ways to go in your process.
Yeah, I still got a ways to go.
That the wife, like, what are some of her wish list items for a home? Because you've been there several times. It sounds like she hasn't been there yet.
Correct. She hasn't been there yet. She's mainly going with the flow. With COVID and now, working remotely, it gives her a little bit more freedom and stuff. To be able to travel and do stuff. So we just taking it day by day and going with the flow. It's nothing is in a rush. Being open-minded, also having some transparency on, and compromise. Nothing is set in stone, and you got to have a plan B and a plan C. So, you just go with the flow. Those are my plans, my hopes and my dreams. And, I'm pretty sure she has some along the way, but if we come to a happy medium, then I'm pretty sure we can all live a good, prosperous life.
Yeah, it's a good way to manage your partner's expectations.
Yeah, because no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I'm saying, and if her goal was just to retire and chill out with the grandbabies, I'm like, hey, look, grandbabies come visit us anytime they want to in Belize.
Well, yeah, but like you said, it's a process. We got started on this international thing, and I kind of started it, Aaron. Yeah, that seems a little. I don't know about that.
He always says that. No, let me tell the truth. He says that, right? And then when we get to the country, do you know who has to do all? I do all the translation. I say
no. But what I meant is that moving to another country, sometimes people are averse to that, and they're like, "Well, I don't know about that." And you're like, "No, check the country out. Let's go check the country out. Go around, like you said." We always say, when you go to these countries, go amongst the people. Right.
Right.
A lot of times people go to resort areas and you'll get a different experience. But if you go amongst the people,
there you go. That's key right there.
Yeah, you'll actually see, like, what's it like to be here and live here. If I got to go to the pharmacy or hell, just getting a haircut. You'll be like, where am I gonna get my haircut? The pharmacy, doctors, the stuff,
the grocery store.
Yeah, grocery store. So, you got to be amongst the people so that you can get a real feel for what it's like to be there. Yeah. And it gives you a better sense of when it's, different than when you go to the
resorts, get off the cruise ship.
Where everybody's catering to you.
The touristy areas.
And even if you go to spots that are high in expat, like, so high, we when we first came to Mexico, we lived in a place called Lake Chapala. And it was high in expats, so mostly people from Canada and United States, and so you don't really get that real experience, right? Because it's like a community of people, and you stay in that community, and you're not really amongst the people. So we always say, get amongst the people. That's why I like to be amongst the people, even if sometimes the people get on my nerves. And they do. But I'm gonna keep it moving on that one. But they do.
Yeah, buddy. I feel you. I already feel you.
It is, we typically, I mean, even if at first I was like, oh, well, that's weird, like I had a job in Costa Rica, I had a job in Mexico. I didn't know what I was doing. And it was a way that we could, like, get around and learn the city. learn the language. We learned the language the hard way. Belize, you're doing it in English. We're doing everything you did in Spanish.
In Spanish, right,
We're
right,
not Spanish speakers. Let me make that
It's a
clear.
little
right.
He's not a Spanish speaker. He's from
Come
the
on, man.
Midwest.
My Spanish is cold,
My
dog.
bodega Spanish from New York doesn't translate. So
Right,
you
right,
throw it all in the trash.
right.
Um, but it's a process, and it's a process that requires being fluid
Mhm.
and being able to adjust easily. That's one of the reasons why I asked, because we have a lot of people who watch our show. They'll send us emails and stuff like, they're all for it. Like, I'm ready to go today. And either their husband or their wife or their partner is kind of like, I don't like it, and they have certain expectations when they go.
Yep.
Sometimes the expectations are set so high
Mhm.
that they're disappointed. And it's kind of like, if we can manage your expectations before
Mhm.
you go,
Mhm.
you can then kind of see the opportunities. You can see the good things. You can see, I can work this,
Yeah. Yep.
instead of, you know what I mean? So just understanding
Yeah.
that you want to manage your partner's expectations long before you get there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I had did some research, I mean, I do a lot of research and stuff. And then one of the things I found out from talking to people and just reading different articles and blogs and stuff like that. So there's an understanding that the closer you are to the United States, um, how would you put it? It is more similar to the United States.
Oh, you have more
Mhm.
access to
Right.
first world amenities.
Right. So when
Yeah.
people start going further and further away, like people will get, like she said, I call it homesick, right? But she says disappointed, but I call it homesick.
Mhm.
You get further away and things aren't available to you. People get homesick. From what I learned over very simple things as far as the type of food you can get,
Little
right?
Debbie's.
Yeah, something like that. The type of soap you can get, right? Whatever. You can't get hair care products and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, I used to follow this YouTuber. She's a young woman. She was from Toronto, Canada, a Black woman, and she wanted to leave and move abroad. And she went from Toronto to Tanzania, or as she would say, Tanzania.
Tanzania.
And so I was following her, and she, it was cool at first, and then all of a sudden she was homesick.
Mhm.
Like you can't get the stuff you need. I mean, so we always recommend Mexico, but like Belize is close to the United States,
Mhm.
places where you can dip your toe and still have the amenities that you're used to from the United
Some of
States.
them.
Right.
Some of, I mean, enough of them that like we still get Amazon here and
Mhm.
stuff like that.
Mhm.
Because you get too far away, it doesn't, it doesn't matter.
Right.
You gotta get it, but
But like even here in Mexico, there are no Black hair care products.
yeah.
So
Mhm.
that's a
Yeah,
challenge
yeah.
for me. Sometimes I do these shows and I'm like, my hair is jacked, but I have to say I don't care because I don't have the things I would have in the US in
Mhm.
order to make it glamorous and beautiful. And there's no Black hairdressers here. So you got to take like the good with the bad.
Yeah.
Amazon does
Mhm.
come right to our back door. So we homeschool our children. We
Yeah.
are able to access all of their curriculum items,
Right.
workbooks, supplies, so on and so forth. But there are some things that may be important to you, like
Mhm.
Black hair care products for a woman, that you don't have access to.
Mhm. Yep.
So, to us, again, that goes into being fluid and being able to adjust. Simon loves Irish Spring. While they have Irish
I
Spring
ain't
here,
seen no Irish
they
Spring
have
in
like, I
5
think it's
years.
Irish Spring aloe or something. It doesn't really have a smell to it. You know what I mean? So it's little stuff, and you do have to
Yeah.
you have to make it, if it's important to you, you have to make the commitment to be willing to adjust and take the good with it.
Yeah, definitely.
And especially
Definitely.
like if you're going to be on an island that's not even on the mainland, which is already in another country, you just understand like I can get this, I can get this, I can get this. I don't really have access to that. Maybe I can't get the Mach 7 razor. I might have to deal with the Mach 3.
Right. Well, what a lot of people do is a lot of Americans.
Mhm.
So in the winter months, when they come down there, they had already stocked up in the summer months when they were back in America.
Okay.
So they bring all that stuff with them, and they just restock up so that they have it there with them.
They have it
So
there.
Yeah, they have it there. So they ain't got to worry about all that. So, you gotta just start preparing yourself. So, once you start doing your research, like, for me, I'm gonna get all my little doctor's appointments done when I'm up here.
Mhm.
So that when I'm down there, hopefully the only thing, is just in case of an emergency, I have to even see a doctor. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Okay. You brought up a great point about healthcare.
Mhm.
So how does healthcare in Belize look like? Would you have to have some kind of international travel insurance? Is it something you would have to
Yeah,
pay?
I would recommend having, international travel insurance, even though you got health insurance from the United States.
Yeah.
But like we were just talking to somebody this last trip that we went down there. Somebody had a medical emergency. They
Mhm.
flew them back to the mainland in Belize City,
Mhm.
took them to the hospital in Belize City.
Okay.
Mhm.
From there, they needed some sort of special surgery or whatever. They flew them back to the United States.
Okay.
So that's how that worked out. But they do
Mm.
have a hospital in Belize City. But on San Padre and Key Calker, they just have, like clinics and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Is that something that would concern you as far as I mean, it's not that you can't get healthcare or just seen, but when you have an emergency that it may you, you gotta get
I
down
mean,
to the
for
nitty-gritty.
me, just because, I'm in the emergency field
Mhm.
to an extent, but kid you not, as when I first took Mike down there, they didn't have any EMS there.
Okay.
Now they have EMS there.
Okay, that's good. That's
So
good.
that's how fast they're moving pace.
Mhm.
It's such a fast moving process of getting things done. They getting stuff done. And I'm like, man, they really, I mean, even Mike was astonished at the location that we were looking at and how fast they moving and how fast they building up. That's why we like, man, we got to get our stuff together.
Mhm.
Because they are trying to attract and draw in
Mhm.
US dollars.
They are.
But now,
So,
and I mean, I'm big on the healthcare because two of our sons have a seizure disorder. One
Mm-hmm.
has asthma, so we got to be able to get maybe sometime emergency care.
Right.
That care that just you gotta go see a doctor and stuff. It's fine out here.
Right.
We told a lot of people in the broadcast, she had to get emergency surgery,
mhm,
right? That came out of nowhere,
mhm,
and it's like we keep medical insurance for here in international,
mhm,
and we keep medical insurance for the United States.
mhm.
But when you have emergency stuff, it's like
I
you
was
gotta
too
do
sick
this
to
now.
fly back.
Yeah, you can't even go
Too
back
sick to fly back.
to get it handled in the United States.
Mhm.
So it is one of the things that I think people who should consider.
Yeah, because he
Con-
was
Right.
asking
That you
like,
are right. Yeah.
Mhm.
can I get you to San Antonio? Because that's what, about an hour and a half flight.
Yeah,
I
that's
said,
an
Simon, I
Airbus.
ain't gonna be able to go through the
Yeah,
plane flight would be fine. I ain't gonna be able to do the TSA
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
it's too much, and I'm already
Mm,
sick. You asking for an ambulance to come pick me up from San Antonio to
Mm-hmm.
Newport and
yeah.
take me to the
Mm-hmm.
hospital. So the other thing is,
Mhm.
because we are healthcare professionals, or we were, you
Right,
still are, but we
right.
were.
That's what
Some
I
of the
heard.
way they carry out and perform healthcare is concerning. Okay. So,
That's what
like,
I
we want to tell the audience, like, if you are very
heard.
familiar with healthcare, it can be scary getting healthcare in other countries. For whatever reason, Mexico isn't big on blood body precautions. It's very concerning. So you want to ask them, like, you mind putting on some gloves when you do the IV?
Oh
They
Can you
wow.
do the IV in the place
they don't do it.
where you're not gonna blow my vein? Little stuff. So, um, in addition to getting healthcare internationally, you have to be, I want to say, patient
Yeah,
in the way they carry it out, because you're used to one thing in the US and it's different in other
yeah, you got to
places.
be patient, but you also conversely, the good part is the cost of medication.
Oh God, it's not
Like a
that.
lot of stuff here in Mexico, it's just you pay out of pocket. It doesn't cost anything. Like I said, we got to get seizure medication. It costs so
Right.
much less than it would in United States. So
Mhm.
that is a good thing. Like we said, we take the good with the bad.
Mhm.
It is the arbitrage. It is the yeah, I mean that's just how it is, I mean, so but it's these are things you have to consider. So I always wonder, like, when you go to a place like that,
Because it's way smaller than Mexico. So we do have questions about the infrastructure, but it sounds like, and I would have to look up to see if it's an emerging market. It sounds like they're progressing fairly
yeah,
quickly to have EMS
hmm
service. You said
yeah.
within the last how many years?
Yeah, I mean, we rock when y'all come, y'all gonna see the fire department, y'all see the police department. I
T-shirt.
kid y'all not.
Am I get a T-shirt, man? I want a
Yeah,
T-shirt.
that's what I'm saying. We've been meaning to stop because every time I go down there, I got patches in my suitcase, and I'm like, man, I've been meaning to drop off a patch to them. Like, here go a patch, man. Let's exchange. But they
Yeah.
stand out there just like us, standing out there looking all macho.
I'm gonna see if they gonna invite me in for dinner.
I
I just want a firefighter meal.
Oh man, that's crazy.
What y'all cooking today?
Right.
So let me ask you, as far as in your journey looking to be abroad, we always talk about being self-aware. So are you some people like the big city living,
Yes.
she's New Yorker. She's a New Yorker, so she likes big city living. Some people, like you say, like beach living. We lived on the beach in Dominical. I didn't care for the beach living, but
It was a different type of beach, though. It's not the beach that he talked about with the snorkeling
no,
and
his
you
beach,
can be with the fish.
no,
And
that
Dominical's a surfer's beach,
that beach was a little rough. But
and the
it,
current is
is
dangerous.
that something
Oh
you
no,
take
no,
into
no. Y'all
consideration?
gonna see
Like,
when y'all see this. Go ahead,
are
I'm
you a
listening.
big city guy? You like the beach, or I mean, we're rural now. We're out in the, kind of out in the
No,
middle.
I'm like in between. Like when y'all see this place, when y'all want to be secluded, y'all gonna be secluded. When y'all want to go to the beach, y'all gonna be right there at the beach. It's like in between because it's still so underdeveloped that y'all got the best of both worlds.
Okay, that's pretty good.
And then
Okay.
the
When
city.
y'all want to fish, y'all fish.
Mhm.
Yeah, I seen you down there fishing.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Fly fishing? Were you fly fishing? I'm
It was just off the pier. It's
off
like little
there.
yeah. So they got a boat dock that you walk out on. They got fishing poles for us, and
Mhm.
it's just chill.
And then when you
Yeah,
get the fish, you go home. Do they prepare it for you, or you
they're
go?
prepared for you if you want. Yeah.
Okay, man. I see. I would like that. I would like that. See, I might have to get. I might have to check out Belize. I'm gonna go check out Belize.
I'm telling y'all, when y'all see these stars, though, y'all gonna be amazed. Y'all gonna be like, "Oh yeah, it's
Now we do
crazy."
have that here in Mexico because we
Yeah.
live in rural
I
Mexico.
know when
There's
y'all.
no pollution to occlude the stars. We get to see Jupiter and Mars when they're in alignment.
See,
Yeah.
We
that's
have
what I'm big on. I'm big on the stars. I
a
love
telescope.
stars.
We got a
Mhm.
telescope that come out here look at.
So that we have, yeah. I mean, I really think it's just in heavily polluted places. The United States is just heavily polluted. But
Right.
if you went to like that middle America where don't nobody know what states those are, they can see the stars and stuff at night. Like you
Hmm.
can't from New
The
York, you
the
can't you
square
surely
states.
can't from LA. Y'all see the smog during the day. But
Hmm.
like in Mexico City, you can't see the stars because of the smog. But out
Right.
where we live in the country, I mean, we have cows and chickens, we have goats. I'm sorry we did it so late. Y'all didn't get to see the animals. I would have liked to
Yeah,
do
the
it when the
animals.
animals were
They was
grazing and
there.
stuff. Sometimes they'll graze the dirt patch because they graze so much. But
Oh, I
um
see that bear behind you. Yeah.
yeah, because the animals come on our property and graze.
They ate all the fucking grass.
They
I'm
eat
like,
the
these
prairie grass. You
motherfuckers.
can see all that prairie grass in the back. So they're nature's lawnmowers. That's what they do. But we had a patch of prairie grass there that the shepherd said was sweet. His name is Jesus, by the way. The shepherd said was sweet.
That's
So
what it
they
is.
just ate all of it. I don't even know. We need to get somebody in there to plant some more for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what I was gonna ask him something, I just forgot. I already lost it. I was gonna ask you about as far as Belize as so for us,
Mhm.
we're always concerned about some of these countries, these Caribbean countries that are in Hurricane Alley. You know, you have a
Okay.
lot of different weather that
Mhm.
can disrupt you. Is that a problem there?
They do get some rain, slight flooding,
Okay.
but no real major hurricane. They not really in a big hurricane belt like that.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So
So
your
like
utilities.
Aruba's not in the hurricane belt. It's they get some wind, but not like that.
Okay. Okay.
So they get some flooding though.
They do get
But
flooded. I mean,
most of the houses are elevated up on stilts and stuff like that.
hmm
But that's
It's like,
come you get some pros and cons and stuff.
Yeah. That's what we always say. We take the good with the bad.
now we're on
Uh,
a mountain, so we don't get flooding, obviously.
Mhm.
You know, we are on an earthquake fault line.
Right. Yeah.
yeah. We had an earthquake. What was that this summer? We had an earthquake.
Oh, we had multiple earthquakes. They're tremors. We shouldn't say earthquakes. So we had
Right.
multiple tremors. They had that big earthquake right when we got here.
But we had an
8.0.
earthquake. We were in Mexico City. We had an earthquake.
Oh, when we left the building.
I'm leaving. I'm sleeping in the bed,
Sleep.
and the bed is shaking. I'm like, huh?
He thought Tina was jumping in
Yeah, I
the
thought he was
bed.
jumping on the bed. I said, "Stop jumping on the bed." I woke up, ain't nobody around. I'm like, "What's going on?" The bed just shaking. So yeah, you take the good with the bad. The earthquakes here because it is a fault line on the ley lines and stuff
Right.
like. But
It's great for grounding, though.
it is. But so like we said, let's hammer it down. October 21st.
Yeah. October 21st.
October
Yeah.
21st to the 28th.
We are going
Yeah.
to celebrate our good
Uh,
friend Percy Grisby. Shout out to
Yeah,
Big
shout out to the
Yeah.
Grizz.
chief.
Person.
We-
Yeah, buddy.
yeah,
Love
shout out
you.
to the
We're
chief.
going to
We're trying to get him in
celebrate your
here.
retirement. We're also going to be shooting from that location so
Mhm.
that our viewers can get a better idea on this discussion that we're having.
Yep.
And we're hoping we can have some more future discussions with you as you're going through the process.
Yes, for sure. I appreciate it.
We appreciate you. We really do.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're going to land this plane.
Yeah, we're gonna land this plane. So my good brother, Randy McCloud. Shout out Cincinnati
Yep.
Fire Department, man. Go way back. Engine 9, we go way back. So yeah,
Go
I was
ahead.
glad to have you
Aaron,
on.
I appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah.
Glad to have you on here. We will we're gonna reach out, I know you're a busy man, so we just try to catch you when you got some free time and
Mhm.
stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. For sure.
But most definitely we're gonna reach back out, get something together. If I could, I would like, to get something together with me, you and
Good.
Grizz. If we could even get Mike on there, because I know he he goes down to Belize, so we
Mhm.
Oh
really
yeah.
want to chop it up with, just have a little chop it up with a threesome.
Well,
Mhm.
pause.
And we got and we can top it up. That's what we need.
Not
For
the
sure.
ideal one you would want, but
Right.
one anyway.
That'll work.
But,
I appreciate it,
we
y'all.
appreciate you coming on. And we look forward to chopping it up with you a bit more as you continue your process.
Yeah. All right. That'll work. I'll see y'all in a little bit.
All right.
Bye.
Okay. Have a good one.
Oh, no, that's